Merry Christmas from Granada Plus.
Hello, this week I've come to Chatsworth House, which is a stately home in Derbyshire. Now the house itself is open to the public 6 days a week, but the reason we've come along here today is not to have a look around the house, but to have a look around the farmyard, which has been set up in buildings not too far away. Well, to tell us a little bit more about the farmyard is Lord Hartington. Now, the farmyard has been set up very recently, but it's not in fact a working farm, is it?
No, it's not a working farm. It was set up in 1973. Well, it was opened in July 1973, and it's been going ever since then, open 7 days a week through the summer. It was really my mother's idea. We had had a lot of requests from teachers from roundabout to see if they could bring their children to look at what happens in a farm. And we tried to do that in our own farms on the estate, but we found it was not practical to bring children to a working farm. So we used the buildings which you're going to see, which had formerly been a building yard, but which were more or less redundant by 1973, and turned them into a farmyard exhibition. And it's not a zoo, and it's not a working farm, but it does reflect accurately, we hope, what goes on in the farms here on the estate in Derbyshire.
Now, you said that the farm isn't a working farm, but yet it's not a zoo. I mean, what happens? Do the kids come around and see animals just lazing around all the time?
No, depends a bit on the time of day, but what they see is the various different animals being fed and feeding, maybe sleeping if they've already had their feed. But the thing which is most interesting, I think, for the children is the milking demonstration, which happens every day at 3:30. And they see a cow actually being milked, and the person doing the milking does a little commentary. And this explains to children who may not fully realise that milk comes from a cow, not from a factory. And it's amazing how many children don't realise that. And so it does have an educational purpose as well as an interest for the children.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm about to start the milking demonstration, and I'll put the first unit on, and then I'll explain to you a little bit about it. Well, first of all, when the cow comes into the parlour, we feed her with cake or concentrate. And this is fed through the offer at the end. And one pull of the lid lets a small amount of cake fall. This bar at the back is to prevent the cow from moving out while she's being milked. Then I wash the udder with warm water, and this removes any dirt that may be around the udder, and it also helps to stimulate the cow into giving her milk. If she didn't want to give you any milk, then there's nothing you can do to make her give you any. I took a small sample from each tea to a quarter in the 4 milk cup, which is just an ordinary cup with a black base. This is so that I can see it's a good sample of milk. And then I put the units onto the cow, and it's all up to the cow to give her milk. This cow is probably the most popular cow of all. She is a British Friesian cow. And we do have a large herd of these on the estate, where they milk about 160. And then from there, the milk goes through to a big bulk tank, which is cooled and kept cool. When the tanker comes along and collects it, it goes to the dairy in Chesterfield, where it is bottled and sent out to the other dairies. When one of these cows calves at the right time of the year and she goes out to some nice grass, then she could give up to 10 gallons of milk a day. But our cow doesn't give anywhere near that amount if they are sitting in the backyard all day. Now, to get the last drop of milk from the cow's udder, we just have to massage it a little bit, because it is most essential for her to get all the milk from the cow. If you didn't, then she would soon go dry. a little earlier this morning, so she has given more. Well, we release the unit from the cow, press this valve in the centre, and that cuts off the vacuum, and it lets the unit fall off quite easily. When the valve is up, you've got no vacuum at all on the unit. When the valve is down, you do have a vacuum, and that squeezes the rubber mould that is inside the teats and squeezes the milk from the cows. Well, during milking, retain the milk in this glass jar, which is marked out in pounds and kilograms. She has given 20 pounds. We release the milk into the dairy with this lever, and it takes it over the top into the glass jar in the dairy, where it is pumped up with an electric pump into the pan over the cooler. The milk flows down the outside of the cooler, while cold water goes up the inside, and that's what cools the milk.
This gentleman casually leaning on the gate post up here must be the gentleman we've come to meet.
That's right. This is Stan Liddickett, the farmyard manager.
Hello, Stan.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Are we going to have a look round?
Yes.
What are you going to show me first?
I think we'll start with the horses.
Right then, we'll see you later on.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What have you got here, Stan?
We have, in fact, got 3 types of horses in the yard. The first, of course, is what we call a shire.
What are the other ones? Halflinger?
Halflinger and Shetland
Shetland
pony.
at the end.
Yes,
How do
that's
they react
right.
to all these people?
Very well indeed. As you can see, they're very settled. When they first come in, of course, they are a little bit more startled, but with the number of children that we have coming into the yard, they soon get very used to.
Yeah, they get used to it very quickly.
That's right, yes.
Have they been here since the place opened?
2 of them has, not this particular shower, but we have had other showers in here.
He's a grand horse, isn't he?
It's beauty.
It's really big as well.
Yes.
Whereabouts are you from? I mean, how did he come to be here?
He's actually from one of the gentlemen on the estate that bred her, and he's also shown her, of course. His name is Mr. Ken Finney. He's reared shires all his life, and his father before him.
Is she a working horse as well?
No, she isn't. She's kept solely for breeding and showing.
We can see on the board at the back there, she's called Melody.
That's right.
What's Hillmore?
Hillmore, that's the prefix.
What does that mean?
The prefix, that's... everyone has a prefix in pedigree.
Right.
You know...
to do with the horse itself?
That's right, yes.
And she was born...
Probably where she was born.
Right. And she was born in 1968, so that makes her...
That's 13 years old.
Yeah, 13 years old. Is
Yeah.
that old for a horse like
No,
this?
not really. No.
What age do they live to?
Well, they can go on up to over 20. Yes, in fact, we have. I've known horses up to 26, but of course they are getting on a little bit. Then, come on, Melody. Let's
Give us some more of these pellets, Melody.
Yeah.
Come on up here.
But she is
Let everybody see you.
a really nice mare, very big mare. In fact, she's 18 hands.
As you say, she gets on very well with the children, doesn't she?
She does very well indeed. Yes, that's one of the beauties of her, really. You couldn't afford to have a horse in here that really bites.
No, right, that's right.
No.
This horse may bite. Beware. Does
Yeah.
it really?
No, not this one really. It really goes back to the other mare that we had in here. But 2 days ago we had to return her back to the stud because she was due to fall. And so in fact this horse here is her sort of stand-in.
Right, stand-in. Let's go around and have a look.
Thanks.
The poor thing being a stand-in. Can we come through there?